It's Mike. Thanks for tuning back in. You didn't think I was going to get a video in today. Admit it. I understand. It's the latest I've ever posted a video, I think. I left this morning at 8 a.m. Didn't get home until 6 p.m. Didn't have a video prepped or even planned in any way, shape, or form. So I spent the first half of the Celtics game prepping this and getting ready to do the video. And now it's halftime of the Celtics game. And then I'll upload it and you'll see this late tonight. So this would normally be a day when I don't do a video, but because I have this stupid streak going, self-imposed, and I'm so close to the end, I'm on day 53, I think. I had to go. I would have ended the streak if this were 2 or 3 weeks ago, but I had to keep going. Tuesday is the live stream. Couldn't think of the word. Today I'm going to talk about blankets as baseball cards. 1914 B-18 blankets. So these are more than a century old. These were 5 1/4 inch squares made of felt. Interestingly, I've got one source that says felt, another that says flannel. I'm not really sure because I don't own any. I actually saw videos a while back where John Mangini had one of these. I'm pretty sure baseball collector Mike also showed a video where he had one of these, and that's why I put this in my file of all the things that I want to do videos on. One of the literally hundreds of things. So they are 5 1/4 inch square and they were folded in quarters and inserted into tobacco products by a company called Egyptian. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. Egyptian cigarettes, spelled a little bit different from Egyptian, so I'm not sure if it's pronounced the same way. So they were, I said square, but they're really diamonds because they're shaped like the infield with base paths around them, with a centered player with 2 pennants around the player. Each base features an icon. One base has baseball bats crossed. One base has a catcher's mitt or catcher's face mask. One has a baseball and one has a glove. There are 10 teams featured. 6 teams from then were excluded, despite being a tobacco insert. Jefferson Burdick categorized them as B cards for blankets. They were called blankets because many people actually sewed them together into blankets or pillowcases or things like that. There are 90 different players. Each player has at least 2 color variations. And one player, Marty Kavanaugh, has his name spelled differently. One with a K, one with a C, but both are still spelled wrong. Apparently they printed them and they realized that they had spelled it with a C, so then they reprinted them or printed the next set with a K, but still got it wrong. So there are not 91 players, but it's 90, and one of them has multiple different variations like that. Then, in addition to those 181 that I mentioned, you've got the 90 plus the 90, because there's 2 color variations, plus 1 extra Kavanaugh. I believe this is how it works. Then there are 17 more red infield variations that are very, very scarce, hard to come by, and much more expensive because of that. Now, these red infield variations are not to be confused with the red base paths. A lot of these cards have red base paths. That's not the red infield variation. It's also not to be confused with brown infields that have faded and look like a red, and sometimes on eBay you might find that somebody's trying to sell it as a rare brown infield variation. Those are not rare. The red infield is only the Braves and Tigers players as of right now. Now, they keep adding players to this checklist because they keep discovering them. So not too long ago there were only 14 on the checklist, and then there were 16, and now there are 17 known red infield variations. They expect to find more eventually, just like with any sets. The set is anchored by Ty Cobb and Walter Johnson and Shoeless Joe Jackson. This was just after Cy Young retired, so there's no Cy Young in there. And also, just before Babe Ruth items started getting issued, right in the middle of Christy Mathewson's career, but he was excluded for some reason. On eBay, these cards are cheap. Cheap, cheap, cheap. You can get them for dollars, dozens of dollars, not hundreds. And there are plenty of them. I find it interesting that GM Cards, I think it is that Greg Morris, calls them set breaks. I think that's just a thing that they use because people are probably searching for set breaks. But is there a set? Like, did they buy a set of 181 and now they're selling them? I don't know how that works. On eBay, a not red infield variation will sell between $300 and $1,200. The red background, red infield variation, sold for $9,000 in 2009 and then $13,000 in 2014. I couldn't find any other examples of them selling since 2014. That's how rare they are. Shoeless Joe Jackson on eBay sell for between $1,200 and $1,700. A complete set of these from REA sold in 2014 for $7,800. So that's the complete set of 181, not including the red infield backgrounds. SGC grades them, or they authenticate them, but nobody else seems to grade them or authenticate them. GAI used to. I don't know if GAI is still around, but I don't know that GAI is a legitimate grading company or ever really was. I don't know enough about them. For instance, Walter Johnson, you can find raw, recently sold for $240, another one for $500, but an SGC authentic sold for $700. So getting it slabbed, this is definitely the kind of card I would want to get slabbed because it's a thin felt and it looks like, what else would you put it in? Like a big top loader? I would want to have it slabbed in a nice SGC slab. It'd look really good in that. Do you have any of these? Have you ever seen them? I'd be interested to know what you have, how much you paid for it. What other sets are you interested in me doing? Let me know in comments. If you're new here, I do daily sports card content. I appreciate you watching. Click that subscribe button. Thanks a lot.